Dinner for shoes, please.
Hello and welcome to an episode of Dinner for Shoes. This is the 58th episode of Dinner for Shoes and it's the first episode of 2025. So let's start off on the right foot, okay? We're kind of not starting off on the right foot because I have a new display, a new addition to the set that I'm going to be bringing in, but Nick is not home to help me set it up. So that's just a little teaser for you and you'll see it in another episode coming soon. Today, we are talking to Ellen J. Silverman, who was recently an extra on And Just Like That. If you know me, and honestly, if you're a woman and you love New York City and you love fashion, you probably know that there's like a shared love for Sex and the City. I also have been watching And Just Like That, which is the spinoff. Carrie's still there, whatever. I don't need to explain it to you. You know what And Just Like That is. So Ellen was an extra on And Just Like That. Her story about how she became an extra and her experience on set is awesome. And we are going to be talking to her about it. And she's going to be spilling her lesser known secrets about what it's like to be on the set with these iconic women and someone like SJP, Sarah Jessica Parker. And on top of that, she's also a quintessential NYC real estate agent who loves fashion. So part of our conversation in today's episode also touches on style for all ages, something that I'm super passionate about, something that a lot of fashion influencers on Instagram and honestly on any platform these days are really passionate about. And I'm going to talk about some of my favorite 50 plus fashion influencers who are killing the game and just create incredible outfits that I'm constantly taking inspiration from. I hope you enjoy that segment as well. And then we have a special announcement at the end of the episode too. So that's a little teaser there. It's for something called Shoe Therapy, which is a new hotline where you can call in and ask me some questions, or we could just shoot the shit. More on that later. Of course, there will also be dinner involved. Ellen's favorite food is actually sushi from Bondi Sushi, and what she did notice, she is a fan of Dinner for Shoes and did notice that we have a lot of sushi lovers as my special guest. So she also gave me an alternative, and we're going to actually be ordering from, well, we did order. Again, this is Uber Eats. So not DoorDash today, but Uber Eats. I'm waiting on it. My Two Boots pizza. Two Boots is also one of Ellen's go-to meals. I decided to go with Two Boots. One, because we haven't had pizza in a while. We've been having more sushi than pizza. Two, because I have had Two Boots pizza before, but I don't recall what a classic cheese pizza by them tastes like. It is the most ordered pizza type at Two Boots. So I have Uber Eats delivering that to me right now, and we're going to taste it. Also, just because this episode is all about New York City real estate, Sex and the City, I just thought that it was more like an iconic NYC food. Obviously, great pizza. And then finally, the simple fact that I don't live in New York. I live in Hoboken, and there's a Two Boots in Jersey City, but there is no Bondi Sushi here. So it was for convenience, okay? But let's get started with the outfit behind the shoes. I also have not even acknowledged the elephant in the room. No offense. No offense. You're not an elephant. You're a perfect little skinny cat. Yeah, I love that she's sitting with me today. And Kit's right here, actually, outside of the camera. I don't know if you can tell, but all right, let's start with the outfit behind the shoes. Let's talk about why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. Now, like I said, love Sex and the City. I have a love-hate relationship with Carrie Bradshaw. I hate her the same way everyone hates her because she's so fucking annoying. But at the same time, while she's annoying and while her salary obviously is not as much as she acts like it is on the show, which Ellen and my conversation does touch on that as well, I do love her style. I do love her bold confidence. I can relate to her there, and she's a writer and I'm a writer, and we have fucked up in relationships before, as many women have, but dating in New York City is a shared experience as well. So I do love Carrie. Also, yes, I am wearing the other shoe today. And because of that, I am constantly seeking inspiration from Carrie. I have so many outfits that I've created that have actually been like subtly inspired by a Carrie Bradshaw outfit. But one of my favorites has to be, she's wearing this black crop top, a striped Prada skirt. It's low rise. And she's wearing a Gucci like fanny pack, and it's very 90s and very cool to me, and I will always love that. So this outfit was loosely inspired by that outfit just because I had to make a nod to Carrie in this outfit behind the shoes. Today, I am wearing André Assous booties. I haven't worn them on the show before. I do really love these. They're super comfortable. For anyone who wants like a sleek and sophisticated and kind of basic shoe, check out André Assous. Love. Just classic leather booty, has an interior zip, really, really great and so comfortable. The soles are so comfortable. I will, in fact, put it on. And for my cropped cardigan, which was also cropped by me washing it in the wash, even though it did come cropped initially, is from Reformation. I love this cardigan. This is my Gucci fanny pack. I love it. It came with this belt. Sometimes I wear the belt without the fanny pack. Sometimes I wear my other Gucci belt with this fanny pack, but I really like this. I like how even though it's red and navy and black, it goes with everything in my closet, literally. Hence this olive silk skirt. This is actually one of the items from my fix. Flash back to the Stitch Fix episode. Yeah, this is one of the items that came in my fix box. I really like it. It's just a simple green olive skirt. And then I am wearing my Astrid and Miyu, which I've worn before, but just like gold earring and ring set because it has a green stone. It's like lime flavored and it's just like a callback to this olive colored skirt. So I really like that. Okay, now, I would love for you to go listen to my conversation with Ellen so you can learn all about just who she is, how she's living in New York City, and her perspective on style through the ages. I had a great conversation with her. And for anyone who doesn't know, sometimes my favorite special guests are the ones who are already fans of the podcast. And Ellen is one of those people who told me how much she loves Dinner for Shoes. And we really just hit it off. And we've been planning this episode for quite some time now. So go ahead and take a listen and learn all about her secrets of the And Just Like That set. Oh, and there's Kit. So you are a quintessential New York City real estate agent, and you also love fashion, which obviously we love. So can you tell us a little bit about how you developed your career and how you imagined it going hands in hand with fashion and how you've carried that out through the years?
Yeah, well, I grew up shopping. Basically, I grew up with three women, my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother. And my grandmother worked in Macy's for 50 years. My aunt worked for Butterick Marketing Fashion Company, which was a company that produced patterns. And my mother was a nutritionist, but all these ladies loved to shop. And it's not that they were very wealthy, but I think it was just the mentality of every Saturday we go to the department stores and we hit the stores and we see what's for sale. And so I grew up with this very, retail shopping mentality. And I watched my mother and my aunt and my grandmother buying, dresses and suits for work, because even though my grandmother was a sales clerk in Macy's, she still dressed. And I think, the 40s and 50s and 60s, even the 70s were the area where women really dressed for work, no matter what they did, blue collar, white collar, professional, doctor, whatever you did, you put on a suit for work. And not only the suit, but the gloves, the hat, the matching handbag. So I kind of grew up with this. And I think, also with my aunt working at Butterick and buying patterns for everybody in the family, they also had a dressmaker, Miss Batelli, who had lived in this apartment in Hell's Kitchen, and we used to go with the patterns and the fabrics, and I'd watch my mother and aunt get fitted for these patterns. So I've always been around clothes and fashion, and for me as a kid, my mother was always dragging me to Saks or even Henry Bendel in those days was a very fine store, and I think shopping was just a big part of our lives. So, I also went to a very strict prep school here in Manhattan. I went to Trinity, and I was the first class of girls. And in the early 70s, we had to wear the Trinity blazer and dress forward and plaid skirt and a certain type of shoes, loafers. And so, again, it was the uniform. It was like going to work, you're going to school and you're putting on the uniform. So I think all these experiences kind of shape my mentality for when you go to work, you dress. I spent 30 years in Wall Street, and those decades were suits, skirts, blazers, and the button-down pinstripe shirt. And I still have in my closet about 40 pinstripe shirts that I just can't part with, but I never wear them.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I had a Wall Street wardrobe. And then I stopped Wall Street and got into real estate, and then the pandemic. So it was like two things: real estate and pandemic. And then fashion changed forever. And people, even men, are no longer wearing the suit and tie and the handkerchief and the vest or the red suspenders. Because I worked on trading desks with the guys in the red suspenders and the bow ties. Yeah. And they were dressed. And those days are over. It's over. So I think, between being in real estate where I could really wear anything I wanted and the pandemic, which changed, I think, fashion forever, my clothes, my entire closet has been reshuffled. And now I still dress professionally because I still have that mentality from all those years on Wall Street. But I can experiment. I can wear a turtleneck sweater. I can wear a leather jacket. I can wear, beautifully made sneakers now. I can even wear a cashmere hoodie and no one's going to say anything. And then, working from home, I got a lot of well-made working from home clothes on Instagram. Right. So things, my closet is except for the button-down shirts, everything has just been gone to Housing Works and been replaced.
So do you feel like you're having more fun creating outfits for the job now? Do you prefer that like air of sophistication that you were used to, or are you like enjoying the in-between?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely enjoying it more now because I have more freedom and have more choice. I mean, what I always stick to is good accessories, a good watch, a good handbag, and good shoes and good jewelry. And everything else I can mix and match. I can wear a Gap t-shirt. I can wear pants from Banana Republic. But I think as long as the accessories are there, then I have a lot of flexibility. So that's kind of how I do things. Yeah.
I love that. And so you were recently an extra on And Just Like That. So we're going to talk about that a little. First of all, tell us how that even came to be, and then kind of tell us about your experience.
Yeah, it's really interesting how this whole thing unfolded. 2023 was a lousy year in real estate. Every deal went south. It was just terrible. So I was looking for other ways to make money. And I'm a big Instagram follower, and I saw this ad on Instagram for mature women models. Okay. And I don't know what got into me, but I said, this sounds really fun. And there's a market for baby boomer women. We're still working. We're still spending money. We still want to look good. And we're going to buy clothes and skincare and makeup and handbags. That's not going away just because I'm over 60. So I called the place up, and it was like a model kind of consultant. It wasn't a modeling agency, but they take your pictures and they kind of give you advice and consulting on how to get into the business. So I went and I had a total blast. They took my picture. I had 4 different outfits. I had so much fun. There were other older people, mature models there, men and women, who all looked great, and we were all supporting each other. And it was just fun. It was just so much fun. And so I got my photography and my headshots and started applying to modeling agencies, and I got representation.
awesome.
And so, but then I was also going on backstage for modeling gigs. And then I saw ads for background actors. I thought, well, this sounds really fun too. Why don't I just go for it? And there's a lot of background roles for people over 60. In fact, the age bracket is 60 to 99.
Wow.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I'd love to be 90 and be an
Yeah.
extra on Sex in the City, and just like, why not? Maybe they need an eccentric old New Yorker, someday. So I applied for background roles, and last fall, Sex and Just Like That, we're looking for a lot of extras, and I got an extra role, which was amazing. And so they asked you to bring in outfits, which I did, but they also have a huge costume area and hair and makeup, and they help you, with your costume, and you sit down, you get your makeup done, your hair done. Everybody's nice. You walk in 6, 7 a.m. in the morning to some location in Manhattan. And I had no idea really what I would be doing, but I was with a whole bunch of different extras. And again, I was having so much fun. And I think the first day I was walking down the street, and it was a beautiful spring day. So it was sort of summery spring attire. And I was with 2 other women, and we, over and over again, we were walking down the street, but who was walking opposite me? SJP and Cynthia Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're not allowed to look at them. You're not allowed to speak to them. You have to head down,
Okay.
right? And so you have to be cool. You can't take pictures, nothing. So, but we kept rehearsing this over and over again. It was pretty cool. And the 2 women were dressed fantastic, just as you would expect. They looked even better in real life and sounded just like Carrie and Miranda having a conversation. And here I was. So it was really thrilling, because I'm such a Sex and the City fan. That
Same.
show was everything.
Same.
So that was fun. And then I got called back again for the second day, and I had to show up at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long was the day in total? Like how many hours?
It was like at 4 a.m. to about 3 p.m.
Okay.
But when you're there so early, you're exhausted. By 10 o'clock, you're just like,
yeah,
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
But they feed you. They always feed you. There's snacks, there's lunch. And you're with other extras that are going through the same thing. Everyone's tired or cranky or whatever, and keeping each other going. And but I realized how hard these actors work.
Yeah.
And not only actors, but the crew and the lighting guys and everyone involved, and the director. And you do one scene 15 times over. One little scene. And it's excruciating.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home.
Mm-hmm.
As much as, and the second day I saw Charlotte, which was also fantastic. Thank God. It keeps you going, seeing the real actors. But I realized, wow, what hard work this film industry is, and the actors. And I didn't even have a line. I just had to walk.
Totally. Yeah.
It was just, and I thought, oh my God, this is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I know, well, first of all, I think it's so cool that they allowed you to bring your own wardrobe, but then you could kind of
I did the second day too. Yeah. And they loved what I wore, and it was all my stuff.
I loved what you wore too. I saw both of your looks on Instagram, and it was so great. So did you have any interactions with those cast members at all? Or I know you said you had to walk by them and not really look, but were they saying hello to the extras, or it wasn't really like that?
Well, I've heard that those girls are super nice to everybody on the set, really, really lovely. And I have heard stories from other background actors that they are very nice and appreciative. I did not. I mean, I was new to this whole background actor thing, so I was really trying to pretend, you know, that I didn't see them, but of course my eye was on the other direction. You know, I was trying not to go crazy and walk over these women. So I really know, I mean, I didn't say anything, and I just kept, you know, stiff upper lip, and just did what I was supposed to do. So
Yeah. I actually interviewed Sarah Jessica Parker. It was one of my first interviews when I started to, yes. And that is the one interview I tell everyone. They're like, have you ever gotten starstruck when you're interviewing a celebrity? Never, except for SJP. But as soon as I sat down with her, she was like the most down to earth, genuine person. I'll never forget it. Like, I felt instantly comfortable. She was like asking me questions about me, you know, she just seemed like such a personable person. And I feel like being on set with her would be magical to see.
yeah, I mean, I will say the paparazzis came out during one scene, and she screamed at them. She was an actress,
Yeah.
but she's also producer and supervisor and wants to know monkey business.
Mm-hmm.
And she really spoke her mind. I was very impressed. And he went away, you know.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, she seems like they all seem, you know, incredibly nice and down to earth, and it's kind of amazing. The whole show. Yeah, yeah, it's just it really good vibe from everybody. You know, even the, you know, the people telling, the background people telling us what to do, and you know, makeup and hair. I mean, if I'm there at 4 a.m., they're probably there at 3 a.m.
Right.
setting up.
Right.
I don't know how they do it. And they were so nice. It was just walking into this love fest of beauty and fashion, and just, don't worry, Ellen, we've got you.
Yeah.
Like, I felt supported.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was great. I loved it.
That is so amazing. And the thing to remember too is just that, like, these actresses, especially, you know, the ones who were on Sex and the City, have been doing this in New York City for years. Like, so they are used to it, and they have that professional vibe going. Like, SJP probably just didn't even think twice about, you know, telling the paparazzi to kind of get lost. But do you have any personal, whether it's Carrie or maybe even another actor on the show, like Sex in the City and just like that moment, do you have any personal ties to like accessories that you love so much, the same way like Carrie loves her Manolos?
Yeah, well, I will say I definitely identify with Carrie in all her relationship woes, and I think most New York women do.
Yeah.
We've all had a Mr. Big, or you know, or an Aiden who was a good guy who we tossed away, right? Because we weren't ready, or he was too good to be true.
Yep.
But as terms of fashion, I mean, that show really put fashion at the forefront of New York City even more. And I don't think there was specific items that Carrie or Miranda or Charlotte or even Samantha owned that I identified with, but I think the overall you know, feeling of accomplishment that you have when you finally buy that Louis Vuitton bag or the Gucci bag or the Gucci shoes, that, you know, you've arrived, you've worked hard, you're a professional in New York City, you're working, you have your apartment, and what's next is that handbag, you know, and it's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I do identify with the Manolo Blahniks. Yes.
Absolutely. I feel the same way you do. And whether it's like shoes or a bag, like that was, I mean, with my first paycheck, like I bought myself the Miyu bag that I wanted so badly, you know, and rewatching that show, no matter when I rewatch it, because I've rewatched it so many times, but that always resonates with you. But you, as a New Yorker and also someone who's in real estate, are there any locations that were portrayed in either And Just Like That or Sex in the City that you feel like maybe they were portrayed inaccurately, or they were portrayed accurately and you just have a kind of connection with those locations?
I think everything was portrayed very accurately. The only problem I had was I think a lot of people got the impression, you know, a lot of young women got the impression I'm going to move to New York and live on the Upper East Side like Carrie, and I'm going to go shopping every week for shoes.
Yeah.
And on a, you know, writer's salary, that's probably not realistic. I think it created a lot of interest in luxury brands, which is probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, those women lived a very high life in nice apartments, a lot of clothes, a lot of parties, a lot of going out, a lot of drinks, a lot of brunches. And not everyone can afford that when they're in their 20s. Yeah. So that, I think, was a little unrealistic, but maybe it helped women, you know, fuel those desires for them to want to achieve that. Mm-hmm. So, and that way, that's a good thing. But as far as the shopping and the stores and the restaurants, I think everything was portrayed pretty accurately.
Yeah. Yeah. What about like their apartment buildings? And even if you can think of like another New York City, a fictional New York City character who had just like a great apartment building that you would dream of selling or living in, are there any of those that resonate with you?
Yeah, I don't think any, I mean, I've dealt with a lot of Upper West Side co-ops, so I guess Miranda's more in my comfort zone. Samantha lived in Meatpacking, not my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Charlotte lived on Park Avenue, not my neighborhood, ever. I would never want that area. I think, you know, the one apartment I really loved, it wasn't on Sex and the City, but on Succession. I think Kendall Roy's apartment was in the Woolworth building, a penthouse. Okay. And that was absolutely stunning. And I would love to sell something like that one day. Yeah.
That's
that was
amazing.
Pretty cool.
I think like seeing the real estate in all of these shows, especially New York, is like one of my favorite parts of actually watching them. As much as you fall in love with like the characters and their relationships, it is just, it's really beautiful to see.
Yeah. Well, I did love Carrie and Big's apartment when they finally got married. That apartment was stunning, beautifully decorated. And I also, you know, with the first season, she decides to sell the apartment, and she buys, you know, this beautiful condo on the west side overlooking the Hudson. And it's beautiful, but it just didn't feel right to her.
Yeah.
And after all the money and everything else, she goes back to her original rental on the Upper East Side. And that was very interesting for me to see.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, very
money isn't everything. Yeah. She needed that. I think she needed to be back in her comfort zone a little to enable her to just move on with her life after Mr. Big's horrible passing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Like we have emotional connections with the places that we live. And sometimes like, just like your button downs in the closet, like we can't quite get rid of it, you know? Yeah. Well, let's actually go back. Let's pivot and go back to your style a little bit, because I know that obviously you show off your style on Instagram. Fashion is obviously a very big part of who you are. Do you have any style icons that you've looked to through the years to create your outfits?
Yeah. I think the one designer I really love is Diane von Furstenberg, because she's such a powerhouse, and she hasn't done any plastic surgery. She really embraces who she is, her age, her lines on her forehead. Her hair is always messy, but I find it very sexy. Mm-hmm. I think she's a very sexy woman. And she proudly wears her clothes, bold designs, bold colors, sensual fabrics, flowy. She just seems like an angel walking out on stage. And she's really herself. And I think she's just an icon of mine for many reasons, you know, in addition to fashion. But right now I get a lot of inspiration from Instagram, just seeing, you know, new designers, what they're featuring, what they're selling. I don't go to department stores anymore. After the pandemic, I used to go to department stores every week, just like I did growing up. and I don't do that.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's gone. And Barney's closed, and that was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So Instagram, and also the clothes tend to be a little more affordable on Instagram with the newer designers. There's a designer called Lola Fataruti. I'm not pronouncing it right,
Okay.
but she does a lot of she's from Nigeria, but I think her grandmother was Italian. It's a very weird combination of African and Italian. So her designs are very colorful and bold.
Love that.
And she does jeans and t-shirts, and I bought a couple of her things. She's fantastic. And during the pandemic, I bought a lot of work from home clothes from a company called Blue Salt. They're in Malibu, and the material is very clean and smooth and easy to wash and beautiful looking. And I think I wanted a little Malibu in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just, I bought a lot from them during that period that I still wear at home. Beta brand, I bought a lot of their pants. They're super comfortable and affordable, and I can wash them in a machine. Classic black and blue pants, pinstripes. And lately there's a company, Indochino, that is in Soho, and they do custom made suits, and I'm going to go to them in about a month and get a new suit, because I think wearing a suit is important still. It seems to be coming back, and they do great work that's not going to break your budget.
Completely. Yes. I love Indochino. I have a suit by them, and yes, and I highly recommend. And then my sister also got her wedding suit made by them, and then my boyfriend has a suit by that. They're great. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, so I'm okay.
Yes. But I think that so many of us can resonate with like everything you're saying, from kind of stopping going into the department stores post-COVID to wanting that little bit of Malibu in your life during COVID and discovering all these new brands on Instagram. I think it's like a great place to discover all of these fashion ideas. But I know you kind of touched on this when you were talking about DBF, who I love, by the way, but a lot of people do feel like fashion has an age limit, or maybe they're thinking about like revamping their closet a little later on in life and they don't feel like they can. What advice would you give to them?
I put this in big capital letters in my notes. I said, there is no age limit, period. It's not even up for discussion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. There are so many women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s that work out, that eat well, that look great. And there's no reason why they can't wear a two-piece bathing suit or even a bikini. There's no reason why they can't wear a short skirt or tight leggings and a beautiful blouse or a low-cut blouse. I just think this whole thing is nonsense. I really firmly believe in buying clothes that make you feel good, that are comfortable and light you up, and that are fun. And if they don't pass that criterion, goodbye. Because I'm not dressing like my grandmother because I'm a certain age.
Of course. 100%.
This whole thing with age is just, it's just horrible. I mean, look at Iris Apfel. What was she, 101?
Yeah. Was she 103, I think?
Yeah. Over 100.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Yeah.
And she was still wearing 50 necklaces, 50 bracelets, colors, the big glasses. And she always said, more is more.
And less is a bore. More is more and less is a bore. Yeah.
And, she's someone, she celebrates herself.
Yeah.
And it's her pleasure. And I mean, why should I stop that just because I'm a certain age?
100%.
I mean, I don't think I would walk around like J-Lo or Kim Kardashian. But I've never walked around like J-Lo or Kim Kardashian. It's not who I am. Right. So, and I've never worn a bikini, even when I was 13. So that's not who I am. But I certainly, I'm not going to be self-conscious. I do work out. I work hard. I've been eating better. There's just no reason why I have to feel old.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
that's what I have to say on that.
Yeah, and I love that is brilliant advice. That's exactly what we wanted to hear. But I think, you kind of touched on this when you said like J-Lo, Kim Kardashian, they're into certain trends that maybe we have not always been into, or they don't resonate with our wardrobe. So are there any trends that you love that you've like stayed consistently dedicated to through the years? Or are there any trends maybe you wouldn't try that are going on right now?
I think growing up and going to that prep school and working on Wall Street, you really kind of have the classics in your DNA from all those years. So I always tend towards classics, but a lot of designers are designing still around the classics, even Diane von Furstenberg.
Mm-hmm.
The classic blazer, the classic skirt, the classic black pants, the classic loafer. Prada has a black loafer that I just bought. It's classic.
Yeah.
It's classic. So I stick with those classics, but I try to add a little twist, either, with interesting glasses. Glasses are an accessory now, jewelry, an interesting handbag, color, chunky shoes that are comfortable with rubber soles. I love the designer sneakers. Those are great.
Mm-hmm.
I have sweaters with, I have a lot of designer clothes, but they're fake, just like this top Prada.
Yeah.
This is a fake. I wear a lot of fake clothes that I see in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
There's a store in Soho. It's a $10 store on Lower Broadway. And I've gotten a lot of interesting dresses from there for trips, abroad when I'm less self-conscious, like something I wouldn't wear on the New York City subway. I would wear going out to dinner in Italy or Spain, and I've gotten amazing clothes in some of these discount places for like $40. I get a fantastic dress.
Yeah. Well, New York in and out. And that was going to be my next question, is just like, do you have any hidden gems, whether it's restaurants or maybe, vintage shops where you love to go, or any little boutiques that you just love that you would recommend to a friend who is visiting New York for the first time, or just like non-touristy spots, I guess?
Yeah, some of my hidden gems have been downtown in Soho, Lower Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of crappy looking $10 designer stores with the loud music, and but you can find some very good things in those stores if you just take the time to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the guys on Lower Broadway in Chinatown, they're like 7 blocks of fake designer handbags and T-shirts and shoes and sneakers. You can find good stuff there, and you can bargain. I don't know if you've ever been to the Grand Bazaar in Turkey, in Istanbul.
No, I would love to go.
Well, that's where I got this.
I love that.
This is fantastic. Yeah, I love this. One day you will go, and it's about 3,000 shops, merchants, clothing, leather, rugs, pottery. And they have a lot of the high-end designer shoes, handbags, and clothes, but they're good quality.
Mm-hmm.
They're better than what you find in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there 3 times, and you can really get some fantastic finds and bargain. I mean, you have to bargain with those guys.
Yeah.
But it's all in fun.
Yeah.
And they're good salesmen. But it's a whole ritual. You have to drink your tea and sit down, and you meet all their family and their kids and their great aunts, and everyone's selling you something. But they have amazing stuff.
That sounds like so much fun. I cannot wait to have that experience. But you're right. It is fun. Even in New York, it's fun like that with the bargaining. If you're setting out to have a shopping day, like that is the place to be. So I totally agree. Tell us if you could like rate any iconic New York City person's closet. It could be a fictional character. It could be a real person. Whose closet would you raid? Whose style do you love?
Well, I would love to raid Diane Keaton's closet because she's such a style icon.
Yes.
Not so much that I would wear her stuff. Maybe I'd wear a few things because she's also very classic.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see what's in that closet. Of course, Diane von Furstenberg. Of course, SJP.
Yes.
I'd love to see what's in her real closet.
Same.
Lately, I've been following Kelly Ben-Simone. I've been listening to a lot of her trials and tribulations about her relationships, which I find fascinating, because I look up to her as such a style icon, Real Housewives of New York kind of person. And yet she's been very transparent about her life. But she's stunning. Her clothes are stunning. She's an influencer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's got like an amazing closet. So yeah, Kelly. Yeah.
Love those answers. Tell us a little bit about what's next for you and your business, maybe like some of your goals. I know now you've done the modeling work. You're also doing real estate. You were just an extra. What do you see as like the future for you and your brand?
Yeah. Well, every year, I've been in real estate 8 years. Every year I try to build my brand somehow. And it's a very intimidating goal. Because I'm sort of an introvert, but you have to brand yourself. You have to have people know who you are.
Yeah.
So this year I hired an agency to help me with getting on podcasts like yours. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm realizing when I talk to people, I'm realizing, I do have a lot to say and I do have a lot to contribute.
Yeah.
And this is a good thing. Like you forget, because you I work from home a lot, or I'm alone a lot, and you kind of lose sight of who are you?
Absolutely.
So it's good to engage. And I'm also just trying to do more videos on social media and build that up. And I'm very camera shy, but I've just got to do it, because every time I do it, I get more engagement.
Yeah. And
so
plus, like,
got to do it.
I love everything you're saying today and you're so great at it. So definitely keep doing more of it.
Thank you.
Of course. Welcome back. I hope you really enjoyed my conversation with Ellen and learned so much about And Just Like That and all of like the secrets of what it's like to be behind the scenes on Sex and the City. But something that really resonated with me, aside from all of Ellen's style icons that I seriously love, Diane Keaton, DVF, I mean, those are some iconic ones. And of course, SJP. I also wanted to talk about Ellen's perspective on style and just getting older and still having that same bold confidence where you can wear whatever the hell you want. You take care of yourself. You love fashion. You love trends. Fucking go for it. These are some people that I just think do that so well. They are big influencers. They all are fashion over 50, inspiration. And I'm just going to talk through some of them. We have Lisa Corbo. Now, Lisa is Toronto based. She's a designer and a stylist, and she's a fashion influencer in her own right. She's originally from Australia as well. She is not afraid to mix notes of glamour with menswear. So you'll see her wearing like a lot of stripes, ties, blazers, suits, and she mix and matches all those pieces really wonderfully. But she also appreciates like really luxe, neutral, colored basics. So I love her. Gina Kieslick, I hope I pronounced that right. She is in her late 50s. She is a personal style advocate and a pro-age enthusiast. She's based in the US. She also encourages people to embrace color, which I love. I am a colorful dresser myself. While you'll see me wear some neutrals here and there, I really love just seeking inspiration from people who come up with these like incredible color combinations. And she is one of those people. She kind of invites you when you're like scrolling on her feed to like experiment with classic color combos, and just she gives you new ideas. She also loves like big statement jewelry. We also have Grace Ghanem, who is also in her late 50s and has so many followers. I'm pretty sure it's over 1 million followers. She is so trend driven. She is so cool. She has her finger on the pulse when it comes to like the it items in fashion today. She could be channeling like a vacation outfit one day with like a cutout maxi dress, and then the next day she's like totally boho, or she'll be mixing like pajama pants with like a oversized vintage graphic tee and a blazer. She's just very New York and very well thread when it comes to fashion. We also have a duo, a couple, Aki and Koichi Kim. They are aged 71 and 73 respectively. They are a Japanese-American couple, and they've gained significant attention as fashion influencers. Their account is actually run by their daughter, Yuri, who I really love. She manages their account, and they coordinate so well together. One of my favorite things about them is that they are not afraid to share their looks when they're wearing something more casual that may not be like your quintessential, eccentric, like couples look, but they feel cool in it. They look cool in it. And they, they share their authentic selves, which I really love. And they clearly have such like a taste for fashion as a duo. So I love them. And then we have, I couldn't not bring her into the conversation. I know I talked about her. You just heard me talk about her with Ellen, and she has passed away, but Iris Apfel is one of the most iconic, fashion creators. We can't not talk about her when we talk about celebrating style at any age. She, like Ellen and I talked about, she said, more is more and less is a bore. That was like her famous phrase. And it was just the epitome of maximalism. Honestly, she was always mixing colors, wearing very big, oversized statement jewelry, experimenting with like avant-garde shapes. And she was just a maximalist. I really, really looked to her for inspiration. I loved her big glasses. She loved accessories. She lived in Palm Beach, Florida. And she also co-founded Old World Weavers with her husband, which was a textile company specializing in reproducing historical fabrics. So I think that's really neat too. We've also got Jordan Trent on this list. Jordan Trent, also in her late 50s, is a fashion influencer and stylist based in London. She is known for her distinctive and elegant style. There's definitely like an air of sophistication about all of her looks, but she's also not afraid of like skin revealing hot pans and like a bit of edge. I actually feel like she has a bit of Carrie Bradshaw edge to her. So she's definitely one to check out. And then we have Sephora Salomon, who is in her 80s. Her fashion is characterized by like a blend of vintage and like contemporary styles, but she also has like some modern touches, I would say. She really loves rich colors. She is all about individuality and self-expression. She is definitely one of the more eccentric dressers on this list. So if you're into more like quirky and kitschy moments, definitely follow her. She also has that same more is more mentality, and she also print mixes very well and in unexpected ways. So I love that about her. We also have Arlinda McIntosh, who is known as Funking After 50. I love that. She is a fashion designer and stylist, celebrated by her distinctive and vibrant style. She is the creative director and founder of Sophista Funk, and has become known for her incredible skirts. So something that people call her, the way that she's referred to, is hashtag fairy skirt mother instead of fairy godmother. And I love that. She also loves to layer, and she's really fun. The reels she posts, they just have tons of personality. They show who she is, honestly, similar to all of the people on this list. But I do really love following her particularly. We also have Astrid Ziegenholz. Now, her Instagram handle is Astrid, I want you in my life, which I love. All these people have like the coolest, quirkiest names that I'm just obsessed with. She's in her 60s. She lives in Devon, England, and she shares plenty of daily styling tips, and she loves to layer. And one of the things that I really do appreciate about her reels is she really shows you like the breakdown of how she puts on an outfit. She starts with like her bra and panties, and she just like she's just real about like, then I'm going to put on this, then I'm going to put on that, and maybe I don't like that. But if you are curious about styling outfits and constructing a look from head to toe, she is one to follow because she really lets you in on the way that she personally does that. And then we also have Ting Ma. She's in her 50s and based in Chicago/San Diego. Her feed is a mix of fashion, fitness, and beauty. I also really like that because I'm big into fitness too. And it's really great to see her like workout moves as well. She of course wears cool shit to work out. She blends edge with like sophisticated workwear. I really like some of the workwear that she shows. And she just promotes this message of like fearless self-expression at any age. So she's another one that I think anyone should follow. I really hope that you are inspired by my list of ageless style influencers when you take a look at them. And once you start following them, I'm sure that you will be. We are now going to call Uber Eats and freak the fuck out because I want my 2 Boots pizza. One sec, I'm gonna go do that. Okay, this shit only happens to me. So I ordered on Uber Eats, as we know, 2 Boots pizza. I just got a notification that my order was canceled. No rhyme or reason. It was on the way. It was just canceled. Okay, so then they were like, don't worry, we didn't charge you. I'm like, I'm not worried about the charge. I'm worried about my pizza. So I reorder it for later. I reordered it for later, and this one came. James delivered it safely, but first it was for Brittany. Okay. Then it was for Sarah W. Then it was for Sarah without an H. This pizza is for Sarah without an H, which is not me, but I'm still going to try it. Okay. Oh, I have to say, yeah, I did do this. So even though I was just going to get the plain cheese pizza, last minute I decided to add fresh garlic because I love garlic topping on pizza. It's my favorite. Now, the type of pizza this is very weird. Is all 2 Boots pizza like this? I don't know, but I'm excited. It looks like it's going to be good, even though it doesn't look good. You know, pizza like that. It kind of is good. Nick's sitting next to me. This is actually kind of good. Ellen, I like it. It's not the best pizza I've ever had. They also added a lot of garlic. But I like the garlic. But I'm thinking this pizza is like grab and go when you're in a pinch. I can see why it would be attractive. It's not my favorite pizza. I do appreciate that it's not too floppy. We recently had pizza the other night from Napoli's. That was a little floppy. This is better than that. A little bit more crispy. We like it. We like it. Kit, do you want to try it? Do you want to get on camera? I knew she'd want to say hi. Okay, so isn't it hilarious and just like so expected that all of this shit just keeps happening to me with DoorDash or with Uber Eats? Like never again with Uber Eats, never again. But at least we got the pizza in the end and we tried it. Now, before we wrap up, I have very, very important news and something that I'm going to continue to share episode after episode until you all fucking do it. Okay, so we are launching Shoe Therapy. Shoe Therapy is a place where we can just shoot the shit. I'm going to listen to your style conundrums, your honestly just like rants about life, about relationships, whatever it is, whatever you think it'd be great for me to comment on, and we will heal together. But no, the way that you do this, the way that I want you to call in and ask me questions, ask me anything, literally tell me if you have a problem about like, you know, an outfit you want help solved, or you want an idea for like an event that you have coming up that's an outfit, or you just want to literally complain about something, call me because you want advice about where to eat for dinner. Oh my gosh. Call me because your cats are fucking crazy like mine and you just want to talk about it. Literally, like, this Shoe Therapy hotline is for anyone and anything, and we are going to have so much fun with it. You can call us at 917, I don't have the number memorized yet, but like I promise I will, 917-336-2057, and you can leave a voicemail and your story. Remember, it can be literally about anything. Well, I specialize in fashion and food, and specifically fashion, really, because you know, clearly I don't specialize in food and learning how to get food, but I do really like to connect with others and just talk to people about anything and everything. So leave me a voicemail. Let me know what you want me to talk about on Dinner for Shoes, and you just might hear your story or your anonymous style conundrum on an episode very soon. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all of our snafus. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you learned so much from Ellen. And I hope you start following all of the incredible 50+ fashion influencers that I'm obsessed with and that I love. I will see you soon. Bye.